Definitely smart to pair your hip compression work with your hamstring training, because you're kind of addressing a similar thing, just from different angles. Oh, those are tough. I will say this is the first day where the stretching is like, actually, like, I felt the benefits. Finally. So I guess I'm starting to adjust, or at least limber up a little. It just takes many days of consistency before that happens. Oh. A lot of it's just getting used to the discomfort of kind of sitting in these stretches. I'm just doing the method of like heavy passive stretch. Whoops. Oh. Definitely when you're doing skill work, just focus on singles. My form is still horrendous, but you gotta start somewhere. I think it's okay to start with crappy form as long as you're doing it in a way that you're not gonna instantly hurt yourself. So me having this band added in means I'm not gonna completely jack up my upper body as I'm refining the technique, which is why I'm a huge fan of bands. Just taking that percentage of load off really makes a huge difference in terms of allowing you to just focus on the skill without worrying about how much load you're putting your tissues under. Ooh, that's not bad. Here you go. Oh, okay. Still working on that second rep. Rest for a sec. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I think I'm starting to feel what I'm supposed to be feeling, at least in terms of my upper body is working. The band's kind of pulled me forward, but I'm going to end up doing these full things in L-sits anyway, so I think it'll be fine. In fact, it still feels like a pull-up variation, which is the most important part to me. I can't even explain how excited I am just to be able to train outside again. Like, I don't think it makes a huge difference in my physical recovery or anything, but just like the mental state I'm in, and to be able to go outside is a huge difference. This is feeling better. Maybe just my balance is improving on it though. Oops, flung some dirt. Trying to get parallel. This one feels looser but less controlled. Interesting. This hamstring I actually tore several years ago, so it's kind of funny that it feels a bit more limber. Sort of unexpected. This is the hard part, honestly. It's not even the front lever or anything, it's just getting into this like neutral. It's like a really specific angle for your upper back. Oh. I think I did it though. I hope when I check it looks good. Felt good. I'm not a big fan of just training the static skills. I like to build the strength around static skills like front levers. So then I can just get into them from any position. I don't think it's that useful if you have to do this really specific setup just to get into one specific skill. I don't really think you have mastery of it at that point. I don't think your body is like fully prepared for it either if you can't get into it from different leverages, different challenging positions. Plus it just builds a lot more, dynamic strength, some muscle mass, coordination. So there's a lot of other benefits from kind of combining the isometrics and the dynamic moves. Oh, okay, this is hard. There we go. Got to work on those adductors. I'm also trying to, I decided to split my workouts now, so it's like an A workout and a B workout for pulling and pressing, because I just want to focus a little bit more on skills, but also I think I'd like to get higher reps. I feel like I'm very strong right now, but my actual I like to hold in a stretch. Just catch my breath a little bit before I reset. Gotta get some control. Okay. God, this is agonizing. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, strength-wise, I got it. Oops, not long enough. I cramped there, so I had to reset. Oh. Oh. Whew, that lit up my mid back. The neutral grip really smashes my rhomboids and lower traps. What's interesting about rings training is it's so specific to a position that stuff like you'd think doing chin-ups would help with pull-ups or whatever, but it doesn't really carry over. But then at the same time, if you're doing a skill where it's literally just the same like starting position for your like shoulders and elbows, then suddenly you'll have a lot more carryover than you expect. So it kind of goes both ways. Okay. Now I'm going to try to do just overhand, which I don't think I've ever done before. This is good though. I've been getting some elbow pain, and I started back squatting again with a barbell. And this is like the exact position that my body is not like used to. So I'm hoping it'll help me kind of just get more comfy as a side effect. Oh, just using these for balance. I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna give something a shot, see if I can do it out of curiosity. So, oh, okay, yeah. I guess I can do shrugs now. Oh. Cool. Oh. Oh. Shoulders are feeling a little more open. If you're somebody who lifts weights a lot, it's just doing this vertical hanging just stretches everything out. Like I said, I started doing Olympic lifts again, so I'm really trying to up the vertical pulling volume just to keep that in balance, both strength-wise and just decompressing my body's tissues after hard Olympic lifting. So if I suddenly get massive legs, it's not from calisthenics or kettlebells, it's from Olympic lifts again. So, hate to spoil anyone's excitement. You can't really get huge legs. Well, kettlebells you can, but I really haven't lifted heavy enough with them to build that lately, but you can definitely do that. But calisthenics is just not really feasible. You can get decent legs, better than most people get, but nothing crazy huge, unless you just got the genes for it. I feel strong, but unfortunately I just fried my serratus, so I guess we're gonna see how much that affects the overhead pressing, or the pressing variations. Probably a fair amount. Let's see how this goes. Everything else feels somewhat fresh, just the serratus. Jesus, look at that. It's supposed to be way up here. Jesus. Can't hide this mobility weakness. This is what I mean where my general mobility is terrible. Yeah, whenever you're doing straight arm stuff though, you can't really see as much from that angle I'm doing, but just protract like crazy. So all serratus, just pressing through your scapula. Your scapula is the stabilizer. It's almost like your arms are just there to like hold that structure. Yeah, okay. I think the pecs, especially the pec minors, are really, really, really tight. I even get tight from doing Olympic lifting in the pec minors, which It's odd. Chest isn't really that integral, and yet, I think for me, a lot of whenever I get bicep tendonitis, it's usually just a tight chest, making me compensate. Keep a controlled price. This is really light for a dip, but I'm just trying to be super careful as I introduce my body to this new position for the Bulgarian training. Eventually I want to try to get strong enough I can do like a Gironda dip on the rings. So like kind of that position, but I'm gonna have to be like really, really strong before I can get there. And then maybe archer dips. Archer dips would be cool. All in good time. Well, I don't know if I have enough arm width here. Eh. Oh. I'm actually going to try rear peek out, tricep dips on this. So basically the difference between a normal dip, you go here, oh cramps, and then rear peek out. It's like a Vince Gironda type invented variant. So you kind of make a crescent with your body. So imagine both of my legs are like this, right? Kind of arching my lower back. And what that's doing is keeping my torso upright and really isolating triceps. So Gironda dips are the chest focus, rear peek outs are the tricep. Normal dips are kind of in between. I have not tried them on rings though, so we'll see how this goes. It might be a total flop. I'm not sure how the balance will work too. I might topple. Alright. Let's go back. Oh no, it works. Oh, I think it works, it's just really hard. I usually like to do pelican curls at the end, even though I'm bad at them. But I just feel like I need my chest and shoulders warmed up first. These are really finicky leverage wise. I just feel like I can either make it way too hard or way too easy. And it feels like I'm honestly adjusting maybe a ½ inch. And that's all it takes to go from way too hard to way too easy. So I'm hoping to use this band to get me in the middle zone. See where I'm not vulnerable here. I know these are horrendous. Jesus. I definitely need it though. It's the only way I can kind of hold the hard bottom position. Oh, there we go. A little chest pumpy. Just a little bit. One of these days I'll grow a chest. Believe it or not, this is progress for me. That's how bad my chest genetics are relative to everything else.